Hi, I'm Chrissy Scott, and I decided to do my presentation on harassment in or out of the classroom. I chose to use the school's definition of discipline instead of one that I found online or in the book. According to the school, a process to teach, model, and reinforce the responsible behaviors that are necessary to ensure a safe and productive learning environment by changing unacceptable behavior to acceptable and respectful behavior. These next couple slides, the school lists their expectations, and these are all from their handbook again, and it's important that the students and the teachers at every one demonstrates respect for themselves and for other people. The goal is to have a safe and productive learning environment for everyone at school and at the school-related activities, and that conflicts are going to be handled in a peaceful, respectful way. Also, the students are to be on task at all times when in the classroom and other learning activities. The staff is responsible for providing learning opportunities for students to give them an opportunity to improve, but we also ask for the support from parents and guardians. And then the staff, students, and parents will assist misbehaving students. We need their support. We need their backup. The school has 4 levels of unacceptable behaviors. And the first one affects the safe environment. These are any behaviors that are intended to cause harm, bodily harm or mental harm, and anything that's illegal. Here are examples. These are all pretty normal. They're kind of a given. None of these things should be present at school. Consequences for level 4 offenses: the minimum is in-school suspension, the maximum is expulsion for the entire school year. So this goes from level severity is the most severe down to the least. The next level would be level 3, and it is to protect an orderly environment. And these are behaviors that occur outside the classroom. They aren't necessarily intended to cause any harm. They're not illegal, but they do affect the learning environment. Anything disruptive in the hallway, cafeteria, school activities, absences, excessive absence, and skipping and tardiness are included here. Bullying and cyberbullying, solicitation of unauthorized items at school, inappropriate literature, display of affection, or dress code violations. The minimum consequences are looking in the vicinity of the misbehavior. The maximum would be out of school suspension and or alternative learning center. Levels of unacceptable behaviors. Level 2 is anything that occurs in the classroom and interferes with the learning of the other students. These are all pretty, I have a hard time looking at these necessarily as level 2. To me, one incidence of talking out does not constitute a level 2 offense. Horseplay, disturbing other students, being out of your seat, maybe I'm a little too lenient, but to me excessive offenses of this warrant here's in-school suspension. So the minimum would be looking in the vicinity of the misbehavior. Basically, you're going to be acknowledged. It's going to be acknowledged that you're messing up, but it's going to have to be excessive to warrant an in-school suspension. And then level 1, not having your appropriate equipment, sleeping in class, being off task, failing to turn in your homework or complete assignments. These are things that we typically pretty much expect of students. I don't think that any of these necessarily really warrant being written up, so to speak. I just had a meeting with my new principal last week, and there is a conduct report, and I would have a hard time writing these types of things, not having appropriate equipment and materials. I would have a hard time finding it necessary to write up a conduct report because a student repeatedly doesn't have their pencils. I would prefer an email to a parent, or sending a note home or a phone call saying, hey, can you help Charlie remember to bring pencils? So my principal stressed that he really depends upon these so that there is written backup in case there's any need, to present, to have a meeting with parents. but again, I kind of just have that's going to be an adjustment for me. Minimum looking in the vicinity, and the maximum would be principal, teacher, parent, conference. So, reference, I got these out of the elementary school student handbook for Parker Elementary. And the reason I chose to do this presentation is because the school I'm coming from had a serious problem with, it varied from 1 to 4 boys, and a couple of them happened to be in my class, all of them happened to be in my grade level, and the discipline handbook, the procedures were not followed, and there was community involvement. It was pretty serious. It ranged from bullying to severe cyberbullying on the weekends outside of school to even sexual harassment, comments made to young ladies about what they were wearing. So I am really hoping that by switching schools and having a principal who is so dependent upon the policies and procedures and documentation of all of these things, I'm really hoping that this is not going to be as much of an issue for me this year. Thank you.